at that point, it's funny to me because at that point it was like anime was growing, and that's like this is the beginning like a tsunami, right? So like I remember being in middle school and I was playing basketball and football, and I'd be like, Dad, you can't watch TV from these hours to this hour. I'm taping Dragon Ball Z, Tenshin Muyo, whatever came after. And then my best friend's cousin would go to the shrine, and they would have like a Los Angeles science and comic convention like every first Sunday, I think. And we were like, and so I was like getting Dragon Ball Z subs, and one of the Dragon Ball Z subs, movie 9 at the end, had an episode of Rurouni Kenshin. Not my bad, not Rurouni Kenshin, Flame of Recca. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I was buying Flame of Recca, and then I was buying that manga, Flame of Recca manga, and like I was always kind of watching anime because I know Dragon Ball Z used to be like KCal 9 at like 6 a.m. But then like middle school, high school, you're like really, Pokemon's getting big, and you're really like, fuck this American shit, like this is it, like, so it's getting like heavy. And Cowboy Bebop was like the first, like, nobody was like binging shit. Cowboy Bebop was the first time I binged something where I was like, what the fuck is this? And just being blown away. And I remember my mom being like, go outside and clean the dog shit. And I'm like, hold on, I gotta, like, spike.
Like once you discover pure good anime, you're like, your little American brain is like, wait a minute, where are we, what?
Yeah, I remember watching Cowboy Bebop as a kid, and the final episode, when it happened, I just started bawling my eyes out because I was like maybe like 10 or 9, and my mom gets home like at midnight from work, and she's just like, what's wrong? I'm just like, the character died!
Mom's like, you're not watching any more of those Japanese cartoons!
Oh, that's exactly what she said.
I wish I got...
American parents were just minding their own business, and then one day, all their children came home screaming for Pokemon. And they all had to learn about what the hell are these Japanese names. Like, it's everywhere, and my child won't stop screaming about it, and I can't translate it. I don't know what it is. Like, it was focus test. That was the most intelligent media franchise rollout ever in the West, I would say, from Japan. It is learning
still strong
franchise to this day. Pokemon.
Yeah, the reason it was such a success was because of its views.
But keep in mind that Pokemon has only existed since the late 90s, and it has already surpassed Disney and Star Wars. It's bigger. It makes more money still to this day than like any Western media franchises. So interesting thing.
Yeah, we got to see the start of that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The original numbers for when Pokemon was airing, when on Saturday morning cartoons, they'd get like 15 million per view per like episode, which is ridiculous.
That's
Oh yeah, and the VHSs, because that would be the only
and then like the immediate game tie-in, because I mean.
Yeah.
And the trading cards, I actually remember people talking about more than the game console itself.
Oh, there was wars over those cards.
Yeah, I remember that. Even though I was too old for that, I was like, what the hell?
There's actually a story, like a side plot in the show I'm currently trying to develop and write, inspired by the mafia-esque businesses that children would develop around these toys. And the brutal, like the schoolyard is, there would be some kid crying because like they had lost holographic, or someone had traded them a holographic Machamp for their much, much rarer card, and they had no idea. Stuff like that.
So you're in high school. Did you even know animation was what you wanted to do? Did you actively seek it out? Was there maybe a teacher or a class that you took that really opened it up to you as a profession, maybe?
What happened was my brother Chris is 2 years older than me, and when I'd go visit him in college, his roommate, or was one of his friends that ended up becoming his roommate in college, he was an animation major. And so I'd visit my brother, and
what school did you go to?
My brother Chris went to Loyola Marymount University. It's in Westchester.
Okay. Yeah, I know Loyola.
Yeah, and then like, Gary walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, I heard your brother told me you could draw." And he's like, "Draw me a Ninja Turtle." And I was like, "Okay." And he like puts like a piece of paper and like a blue, the blue animation pencil, which I was like, "Oh, what is this?" Right? Like you've never seen that before. And I draw like some Ninja Turtles, and he's like, "You ever?" He put the idea in my head. He's like, "You ever thought about animation?" And then he was like, "Hey, one of the teachers here is a board artist on Teen Titans, which was Jay Leva, and Jay had boarded I think 2 episodes." And like that, I was like, wait, I always liked drawing. I just didn't know how you get paid to draw, right? Like that, I never knew that was an avenue. And so then when I would visit my brother, I would bug Gary and be like, ask him fucking questions. So like, that's how, and so that was like my, junior year, I think in high school, where I was like meeting Gary. I met Gary at the right time because you're a junior and you're applying and you're starting to talk about applying to colleges, and you start thinking about like, oh fuck, what college, what do I want to do, what do I want to major in? And so like that helped out a lot, tremendously. So like, yeah, I never was like, oh, I want to do animation. And then when I got into college, I had met people that were like, I was taking animation classes in high school, and I was like, what the fuck, they offer those? Like, because I went to a Catholic high school, so they weren't doing it.
I was the only person in my entire high school that knew any sort of video media, and back then I was like the live action. It was, a Texas suburb, so I was making like staff videos for the
church,
training videos for them, and sneaking in weird clip art stuff. That's what you get when you ask a high schooler to make you videos for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I know those very acutely, yeah.
Yeah, the area we grew up in, like prior to like mainstream kind of internet thing. Now it's like you have the internet, so if like you can look up on like how to produce animation and like sit down for an hour and you can find a program. But like I went to Otis, so it's like right across the street from Loyola.
Yeah.
But even still, I had like college prep seminar classes at Loyola Marymount called College Bound. So that's I kind of knew Loyola before I went over there. And I was like, yeah, and like I took like one art class in high school before I went to art school. And that was about all my experience. Yeah. Because they didn't have a lot and like very few schools had like animation programs in high school. So that's a rare.
Yeah, my high school had an animation program, but it was very I grew up in downtown LA, so it was like all for like inner city stuff. So they got like a huge grant from the state to come in. They brought in like IMAX and a bunch of Toon Boom Studios and iPad, or what are they called? The Wacom tablets.
Yeah.
But, they never let us use them because you have to have a teacher present to be around that gear, because everyone would steal anything. Like I went to my school was filled with thieves. They would you'd leave something out and it's gone. I lost a PSP once, man.
Oh God. What school was this? Because I don't live far from downtown LA, so I'm kind of glad you said that. Because when people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like Jefferson Park, and they're just like, and I was like, "It's near downtown," and they're like, "Oh, okay."
It was Belmont High School.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know Bell.
It's not what it used to be. I mean, when I was there, I was the only white kid, but now it's like a middle school, grade school, high school. There's no students anymore in California. All the parents moved out, I think.
Yeah. So true.
So weird.
I never knew there were kids downtown.
That's the other thing. You're like,
growing up.
My high school was overcrowded. There was like 40 to 50 kids per class, and then they opened up Roy Ball and then Miguel Contreras less than 3 blocks away, and then 3 years later, they had to turn my high school because there was so little students left. They had to turn it into a grade school / high school, so they had to like start introducing like younger grades to get more people in, just to keep the teachers on board.
Wow, that's crazy. Because most of the schools I know in LA, they were so overfilled they had to split. Like my 6th grade in my elementary school is the last 6th grade before 6th graders got moved into the middle school students.
Yeah, that's what happened. So it was so big that they split it, and then once they split it, everyone left because that was like right around 2007, and so everyone was just like, well, the economy's doomed, and then they just left.
Not necessarily limited to LA either. Same issues in like Central Texas. I think it's just public school systems in America are a little underfunded, maybe. It's just a hunch. I've heard it.
been like 20 years for me, so things have changed.
Kidding.
Should I do the intro again, or are we good to go?
Great.
Oh,
there we go. Let's go.
So there was an intro, and then there was about 45 seconds to a minute of awkwardness. That will serve as our musical intro today, just us rambling about nothing. And now, here we are.